Hello and welcome. We will discuss in brief third normal form. Uh, what is third normal form? The definition wise, 3NF, if we write it down, third normal form has to be in second normal form already, that is, no partial dependency and cannot have transitive dependency. Okay, so again, we cannot just directly jump into third normal form. We have to make sure the database already in second normal form, and then we look for transitive dependency, remove it. So what is transitive dependency? The definition is a non-key attribute defining other non-key attribute. And partial dependency was like part of key attribute defining or determining other non-key attribute. But here, everything is non-key. If there is a non-key attribute defining another non-key attribute, then we can also say the repetition going on. Let's take an example. Let's say uh, there is an apartment building, 20 floor, high-rise building. Each floor there are 10 units, and in each unit there are two adults living. So in this simple example, how many total people living in the same building? 20 times 10 times 2 is 400, right? And let's say downstairs in the same building there is a branch of the bank, TD or RBC, and this all 400 people, for convenience, they create an account or open account with this same branch. So how are things gonna look in terms of address in the database of this bank branch? Um, so we have, let's say, customer table or client table. Um, so we have customer number or account number holder, first name, last name, apartment number, street name, zip code, city, province, and so forth, right? That's the table, account holder table should look like in the bank branch. But do you see what's happening? If there are a group of buildings, multiple buildings in the same area, they are located in the same, maybe different street number, but maybe same street name, but at least, even if the street name is different, other side there is another street, um, the zip code, city, province, they will be same for just this one building or maybe group of buildings. So same zip code, same province repeating in the account holder table, right? So there are repetition going on. Um, so what is the transitive dependency here? Something happened with the recording. I have to. Try to share the screen again. Okay, now the screen sharing is back. Let's get back to the example again of this same building, 20 floor building, let's say 10 units per unit, two adults living, 400 employee. All 400 will have the same zip code, city, and province. Okay. So what is the transitive dependence? code is identifying city and province. So um, if there is a non-key attribute defining other non-key attribute, like in this case, if you're given a zip code in Canada, it will define which city and province. Then there are repetition going on. So we need to isolate it as the purpose of normalization. So we separate the customer table and the zip tables. As we separate, zip code becomes the primary key in this table. This is no more non-key. This becomes a key. City and province dependent fully on the primary key. So there is no transitive dependency. There is no partial dependency in zip table. But are we done once we separate? Yeah, once we separate, the same zip code will be placed only once. Only one row will appear for the same zip code, not 400 times, or repetition will be going on. That's the purpose. In order to reduce redundancy, uh, we uh, we separate into decompose into multiple tables. But once you separate, don't forget the relationship. You must make the relationship. Otherwise, you don't know which customer living in which zip code, right? So what is the relationship? Uh, if there is an account holder, a customer, the rule of thumb, is it depends on the database. But in this case, let's say you can have only one address, one present address. So uh, one customer will have only one address, but in the same zip code, there may be many people living in the same zip code, right? So one customer has only one zip code, but in the same zip code, many customer living. So zip code is one side, customer is many side. Rule of thumb is primary key of one side will always go to the many side as a foreign key. So I bring the zip code, which is the primary key here. It goes here as a foreign key to make the relationship. Now I know this zip code as a foreign key may be repeating depending on how many customers living in that zip code, but that is the minimum repetition. For the sake of the relationship, you have to consider. But the city and province, if there are thousands of people living in this zip code, all of them has the account in the same database. Um, you save city and province appearing 1,000 times. Uh, they will appear here only once. Zip code may appear here 1,000 times as a foreign key, but it's saving city and province. And you can imagine if you implementing using C, the Oracle database, 1 byte, 1 character, then how many bytes you're saving as a storage in your database. That's the purpose of this normalization, to reduce the repetition. So again, third normal form has to be already in second normal form, and there is no transitive dependency. What is a transitive dependency? A non-key attribute defining other non-key attribute. If there are transitive dependency, you must remove it into separate table and then make the relationship. Now going back to this example, it is very similar to the previous lab, maybe slightly different data values, but you check. So we take it into unnormalized form. I'm just giving you a rundown here. We first normal form, we identify which could be the candidate for the primary key. Second normal form, we identify the partial dependencies. And as we identify partial dependencies, we have to separate into those tables. And then we make the relationship in between the tables. If there is any many-to-many relationship, we have to bring a bridge table. And after that, into these four tables, customer part, order, and the bridge table, we try to find if is there any transitive dependency. There is a non-key attribute defining another non-key attribute, and we see there is none. Since there is no transitive dependency, or if there is no transitive dependency in the database that is already in second normal form, we say that is in third normal form as well, because we couldn't find any transitive dependency to be removed. Okay. All right. Thank you very much.